we're going to turn things over to Brendan Parker and Matt Stajan for tonight's Ram post-game show, brought to you by your Alberta Ram dealers.
Welcome to Flames Post-Game Live, brought to you by Ram Truck, winner of Motor Trend Truck of the Year for the third year in a row. Brendan Parker, Matt Stajan alongside, breaking down another home opener victory. That's 4 straight now for the Calgary Flames. They pick up a 3-0 shutout victory here tonight over the visiting Vancouver Canucks, the first of back-to-back games against the Canucks. And, well, I guess we kind of can just talk about the recovery from the first game to this one, the fact that maybe more of a complete effort from the team tonight. What did you make of the overall effort?
Yeah, it was a great 60 minutes. I think, it was 3 complete periods where we saw their execution on special teams, both on the power play and the penalty kill, and ultimately that was the difference in the game. Obviously, when you have a goaltender that is lights out that you got from the opposition in the offseason, that helps. But it was a solid game for the Flames to bounce back. I think they weren't happy with their second and third periods last game, and they came back and proved that they can close out a game when they get an early lead, and they did that tonight. They had control of the game all night.
Special teams or games that feature a lot of special teams probably have their own unique challenges, but when you're rolling, I guess, you get 3 on the power play, that's probably plays more into your advantage. But early in the season, do you like to get some power play touches or as many as you had tonight?
Oh yeah, I think this is the time you want to get your power play going.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about rust, in these games, but I think the power play is, you can take advantage of teams not being in sync on their penalty kills. So, you're going to get your confidence and everything going a lot quicker in that sense, and you'll feel better about yourself, especially the guys that are on the power play. So take full advantage of it, because there's a lot of mistakes being made, more so in the defensive zone, because those ones get taken advantage of more than in the offensive zone. And we've seen a lot of power play goals throughout the league in the first few games here.
I was going to say, generally, is it usually the power play that gets it going faster, or the penalty kill? Which one's easier to kind of on short notice, I suppose, or short reps?
It all depends. I think if you get one early like the Flames did against the Jets, it sets the tone for your season. So it's very important to get that going early, and it's the same on the penalty kill. So I think, when you have goaltending, that's the most important penalty killer. You have Markstrom back there, and he's feeling good now, and that's going to help. So it's give and take. You can pick whatever you want. I'm looking at the out of town. I think Colorado had 5 power play goals yesterday, or 6 power play goals. So in a game. So you kind of look around the league. It's kind of a trend. It's such a skilled league now. The young guys coming in. Everybody's so skilled that. The power plays, that's what guys are working on in these offseason. You can't simulate a penalty kill. So so look for that to be a trend here until teams really, get into their mold and get some games under their belt.
No one's blocking shots in off-season skates.
Definitely not.
Let's take a look at the highlights from this hockey game. And as we just talked about, that's kind of foreshadowing, because the power play plays a huge role in all 3 of these highlights. It starts in the first period. Let's go take a look now. That first unit goes to work. They had the goal in the first game on the man advantage, and here they strike again early in this hockey game.
Yeah, some good puck movement here, and Monty starts it off and hits a seam pass across and to Lindholm, and Monty goes right to the front of the net, where in the slot area where he's in his office, and Chucky makes a nice one-touch pass. It's a set play that they practice all the time in practice, and they get rewarded there.
So 1-0 Flames after 1. This now in the second period. The second unit goes to work, and another nice kind of touch pass. Andrew Mangiapane and Dylan Dubé with a beautiful finish.
Yeah, and the Flames have 5 lefties on this power play unit at this point. So Manja is a one-timer option, but you can tell if Vancouver's out of sync there. They're kind of confused who's taking that middle guy, who's Mangiapane in this case, and he makes a great spin move, and Dubé is locked and loaded and makes no mistake with that goal.
Well, and to your point, knew he was there and knew he was open, so that's a nice little field play there by Mangin and Dubé. Now this in the third period, kind of what seals it up, and it goes right back to the first unit, and Matthew Tkachuk in his office, or just next to his office. Yeah,
these guys are all playing to their strengths on this power play unit. So, Johnny, he wants to shoot the puck more, and he lets one rip, and good things happen when you shoot, especially when you have Chucky in front, causing traffic or tipping pucks, and he gets a nice juicy rebound there and makes no mistake. So It's nice to see the way they're moving the puck around. They're taking full advantage of, not the best penalty kill by Vancouver. I'm sure they're going to want to tidy that up because they were out of sync in a lot of those goals. But your best players could take advantage of that, like the Flames did tonight. It wins you a hockey game.
Well, and just to kind of, so we talked about it in one of the intermissions, and I'd love to go to it now just because we're talking about the power play, sort of the different looks. And it's going to be an interesting sort of process as this season goes on because of how often you're playing so many teams and the fact that you're almost playing playoff series at different points in this season. You really do have to kind of offer some different looks on the man advantage as you go along here, aren't you?
Yeah, and the Flames, they offer so many different looks on their power play, especially their first unit. They got the 3 righties and the 2 lefties, and you'll see they kind of line up in different formations. Obviously, they have their set formations, 5-on-4. They want Lindholm and Johnny on their, going up and down the flanks, not on one-timer sides. They're kind of playing their strong side. And that's how they want to play it. But hockey's not a game where you could just kind of pick and choose. You got to adapt. So here on the 5-on-3, they change it up, and obviously you want to have as many one-timer options as possible. And you see here, Johnny has the puck, and he can feed both right-handers and Anderson or Lindholm there for one-timers, and use Chucky and Monty in the slot. And then back in the third period, you see here, they could even switch it up again. I think Luch is on the ice here with them, but they just have so many options in what they can do, and as a penalty killer, that's so hard to defend because you prepare to defend against one way, and they can kind of throw it at you any way they want. And hockey's such a read and react game that there's adjustments on the fly. So guys got to be in sync. And these 5 guys, seem to be in sync these first 2 games. Obviously, they've played together in the past last year, and you're seeing Vancouver really trying to find their way in the penalty kill and not having an answer for them tonight.
Well, that's a pretty good breakdown of the power play and some of the options there. And then I guess Johnny on that last goal, he's kind of back on that flank side afterwards, or the strong side, as you mentioned. So that's really good stuff there from you. I'll ask you about Jacob Markstrom. I think it's probably gone deep enough now into this show without talking about the guy who gets his first shutout as a member of the Flames. But it's got to feel good. I mean, to get your first one early for your new team, regardless of who the opponent is, but just to start to feel more at home and more comfortable in this position in the Saddle Dome.
Yeah, getting your first win is a good feeling for anybody when you go to a new team, especially a goalie. But getting a win, a shutout win against your former team that you've spent your whole career, that's special. He's got to embrace this, and I'm sure he will, and that feels good. Trust me, going back to Toronto, after I got traded, those games were extra special just because that's all you know, and you know people on the team, and you feel good for a guy like Markstrom, who's hard worker. You hear all the positive things about him. He's there's a reason the Flames brought him in, and he's going to win you hockey games. That's what he does, and we'll see a lot of this for the next 5 years, and hopefully this is a good stepping stone now to set the tone for the season, because any team with one of the top goalies is going to have success in this league.
32 saves for the shutout win. I'm sure at some point here on this post-game show we'll hear from the goaltender in his first game as a member of the Calgary Flames, in this building at least, wearing the red sweater and in that crease. Just as we kind of follow up, maybe you mentioned going back to Toronto for the first time, also your hometown. So what were the memories of that first game back? Do you remember some of the text messages or exchanges that way?
Yeah, Toronto's, that's the hockey mecca, right?
Yeah.
It always gets mocked for that, but it is. And
yeah.
I was having a tough season here in Calgary. It was my first full year, and I went back there. You see your family, and that's where I grew up. And it's just a crazy atmosphere, hockey in Canada. And I was able to score, and we won in a shootout, and it was just a good feeling. Just to win that game, it's a good feeling, and I think for Markstrom, it's special. And when he goes back to Vancouver, he'll get it all over again. I think that'll be even more special, going to the arena where you know best. Let's celebrate tonight. And it's different with no fans, but it's a great win.
Yeah, great win nonetheless. We'll hear from a couple of guys coming up here on the Flames post-game show as well. Maybe let's just circle back. I wanted to kind of touch on the way that the Calgary Flames offense has started, power play aside. The guys who have scored the goals. If you kind of look down the list from opening night on Thursday to tonight, you talk about the guys that you need to carry the offensive load throughout the course of a season. You got Sean Monahan, Elias Lindholm, Matthew Tkachuk, Johnny Gaudreau. All of those guys are already on the board. What does that do for your offense early on?
Yeah, it's very important. You know, especially the guys, your top guys, and all those guys are on the power play, right? So
Sure.
the
Yeah.
power play is successful. They're scoring.
Yeah.
They're starting to feel good about themselves. You need your top guys to feel good and have confidence, and it's going to bode well as the season goes. You never want to be chasing that first goal, you know, 5, 6, 7 games into the season. That mentally that can wear on you, and it does as a player. Even if you're, you know, a guy playing, you know, 10 minutes a night, you want to get that first one as quick as you can just to get the monkey off your back. So good thing for the Flames, their power play is going. Those guys are getting their cookies and moving the puck well, and you know, I think it's a good start to the season for all of them.
Let's go now to well, our new format for this Flames postgame show is everything done through Zoom, kind of similar to what it was back in the playoff bubble. But right now at the unofficial podium, Dylan Dubé and Sean Monahan. Let's listen in now.
Yeah, I mean, tonight's a special game for those guys. Obviously, they've been on that team for a while and playing against them for the first time. So, I mean, we tried to step up and have a big game and win. And, I mean, Marky stood on his head. He made big saves, and he competed all night. So, credit to him. Tanny with huge blocks. And, I mean, Leaves was playing strong tonight, too.
Yeah, I think Monty said it. He competed hard. Marky was good for us back there. I think he did that in Winnipeg as well. He's been standing on his head, and you know, Tanny with 8 or so blocks and Leaves battling hard. It's great to see them compete. You knew it was going to be a meaningful game for them, and they really showed up tonight, which was good to see.
Any other questions? Haley, we'll go to you next.
I'll throw one out there since there wasn't any other hands. You know, after the game against Winnipeg, some of the post-game from everyone was more about, you know, what you guys did great in the first period and what was maybe missing from your game in the second and third. Did this feel like a more complete game? Obviously, you got the win, and that's important, but across 3 periods, did this feel like a more complete effort?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a better game for us as a group, and, I mean, I think we still got a lot more in the tank to show, but yeah, I mean, when you get a lead in this league, you want to hold on to it and you want to play smart, and I think we did that tonight. We tried to manage the puck better than we did in Winnipeg, and I mean, you get better results when you do that.
Yeah, I thought third period is good, just staying on top, and when we get up 2 and going into the third, we should hold on to those games every time, and I thought the guys responded well to what happened in Winnipeg and being able to just be committed to staying on top and not letting them get anything in the third.
Go to Eric Francis next.
Dylan, usually there's 18,000 people in here, and we can't hear you guys that clearly, but when you took that pass from Mangiapane, we could hear you from up here calling for the puck. Is that normal for you?
Yeah, I think so. I think just you don't get too many looks like that where backs makes a great play like that to open it up. So I wanted it, and Mans made a great behind the back pass right in my wheelhouse, so it was great. And like I said before, just special teams was on today, and to get rewarded with that from the work we did. We kind of battled it before. You know, we didn't really get any momentum on our unit for the first 10, 15, 20 seconds, and then we capitalized on it, so it was nice to finish it that way.
Thanks. Any other questions? Haley?
Yeah, sorry, I'll just follow up with Dylan. I mean, you're playing in a really crucial spot on the second power play unit on that half wall. I mean, how much confidence does that give you to be put in such a big spot on the power play?
It's good. I think, you know, with the bubble last year, being able to have opportunity to go on that, you have some confidence going into it and just working on it throughout the summer in those situations, and a lot of practice time. So it some puck touches helps throughout the game, and it's just nice to be out there and try and contribute in those big situations. To have 3 power play goals in a game's huge. Like Monty said, can win and lose games. So to be in that spot is it's fun to be a part of.
Okay, thanks very much, guys. We'll be back with Jacob Markstrom.
Dylan Dubé, Sean Monahan with their thoughts post-game, and hard not to focus on the third period and the way they're closing games out, or the way they close this game out, because early in the season, you want to be able to set that I would assume, set that precedent in terms of how you finish games. And when you have the opportunity to close out a game, especially in regulation, knowing how close this division will set up to be, what did you make of the way that what they allowed in the third period?
Yeah, they controlled the game. It's simply put. I think you saw a little flurry and a push from Vancouver in the second, but once the Flames got that second power play goal and the second goal of the game, yeah, you didn't really see the Canucks get too much after that. And when they did, obviously Markstrom was there to make the save. So it was a good team effort in that sense. They didn't give up many odd man rushes all night. And obviously early in the season, that's a big factor with everybody being a little rusty and feeling their way back into game shape. But that's a good sign. You simplify, especially when you get the lead. You really want to simplify, and that's the advantage of getting an early lead at this time of year.
Dylan Dubé, you heard him talk about the confidence of playing on the power play. You mentioned it in one of the intermissions as well, but maybe let's focus on Dylan for a minute again on this post-game show, just knowing maybe the opportunity that's ahead of him to kind of really start to hone in on that offensive role on this team and kind of establish himself as a top six forward.
Yeah, and we've seen his progression, especially since playoffs last year, and it's obviously gone right into this season. The opportunity is there for him. He's playing with Lindholm and Tkachuk, questionably the top line on the team. And I think, it's just such a good opportunity that he's, ready to, thrive on. And we've seen that. And playing on the power play on the second unit as a young guy, that's such an opportunity for any guy in the league. And it boasts confidence, especially because he scored tonight. He was successful in the playoffs on the power play. So all of that translates in his overall game because you just kind of go out there and you feel the confidence and, you're going to get your minutes in. You're not battling for those minutes, and it's translating into his development, and we're seeing it firsthand right in front of our eyes since the playoffs.
Jacob Markstrom, 32 saves, his first shutout as a Calgary Flame, sixth of his career. He's now at the podium.
Jacob, you told us this was going to be a special night. I imagine you couldn't script it much better than to finish with a shutout.
No, it's huge. Great team win. Obviously, it's weirder than I thought it was going to be, and it's tough to see. It's just weird seeing the team you play for a long time on the other side. But I just try to stay focused on the puck and trying to do my part. And the guys in front of me played a great game today.
I know nobody made more saves than you did, but it felt like Chris Tanev wanted to try and come close. Can you just tell us what it meant to see him kind of drop in front of so many for you tonight?
Yeah, I mean he's been doing it for me ever since I came to Vancouver. So I mean he's it's a great fit for him here, and he's a great guy, fit right into this locker room, and guys love him already, and they see why I love them so much as a teammate before, and I'm lucky to have him with me here in Calgary.
Ryan Pike.
Yeah, hey Jacob. That lengthy 5-on-3 for Vancouver sort of came at an interesting time for you guys with you holding on to that 1-goal lead. I guess from a team perspective, like what does it do for the bench, and I guess for you as the guy behind everybody in the blue paint to sort of get through that kind of situation like that, to get through 82 seconds of pucks coming at you without having to have the red light go on?
I mean, it's obviously good. It gives us a little bit of momentum, and like I said, it's a key point. We were up by 1, and they got the 3-on-5, and once again, I can't say enough good things about the guys, and the special team was the difference maker today, both for our offense and for our defense to keep them out of our net. So I thought our killers did a great job of blocking shots, and when the shots were coming, it was I could see most of the pucks, and they kept the lane clear. So the guys did a great job today, and can't give them enough credit about today's win.
Any other questions?
Can I just ask one more, Kels?
Go ahead, Les.
Jacob, you talked about it being kind of weirder than maybe you even expected. At what point did you kind of settle into it? Like, was there a point that maybe you were able to put that part of it out of the equation a little?
No, I think from the puck drop from the warm up. I just, I usually look over and you get a feel of the team and you kind of look at some shooters. But today I just focused on the puck and focused on what I did. I don't think I didn't talk to anyone. It's weird because they know me and I know them, and we spend time together off the ice, and but it was I just trying to focus on the puck, like I said before, and not trying to make it into a big deal. It's a great team win, and that's what matters for us right now. Is a big bounce back from the Winnipeg game.
Eric Francis?
Jacob, did you get the game puck? And I assume this will be a special one for you.
I don't know. Yeah. It's a first home game for me, and unfortunately there's no fans in the stand. But hopefully, there's a lot of people watching and enjoy the win and the victory, and then especially obviously playing my old team too as the first game back, and we got nine more games against these guys, and there's a quick turnaround. We got in 2 days we got another game against these guys, so enjoy this one tonight, but then we got to go back to work tomorrow and see what we can do better in a couple days.
Okay, I think that's all the questions for Jacob. Thanks very much and congrats.
Thanks, guys.
And we're just going to wait on head coach Jeff Ward.
All right, there we go. So Jacob Markstrom kind of comments on, well, there's a few things in there. Obviously, his play, the special feeling of, as you talked about off the top of the show, to shut out your former team, and then obviously just a little bit about the overall team play as well in there. So maybe just a kind of a thought on the way that the season starts to set up. Lots of time, lots of gaps in between. Kind of set up for Jacob Markstrom to maybe find a little bit of a rhythm here in the early going.
Yeah, I think, especially the Flames schedule, they have the next one against Vancouver game.
Yeah.
We'll
5 days off.
Yeah, and then they have 5 days off before the Leafs come. So, it'll be interesting how they go when they can mix in David Riddick.
Mm-hmm.
But, I think, coming off a shutout and against his former team, playing them again, you kind of roll with it. It seems like he's feeling it. It's got to be a good feeling. I'm always so happy for guys when they're going through that, because the transition, to moving NHL teams, whether you get traded or whether it's to be a free agency, however it is, there's a lot of emotions involved that people would never understand. And, so you're really happy for guys when things go right for them and they can celebrate a victory like he's able to tonight.
And then the other thing that comes with it, as you kind of talked about it, that time in between. I mean, obviously, you'll focus on Vancouver on Monday, but those 5 days as a coaching staff, I don't know, maybe as a player, you're not looking forward to it as much, a lot of practice time, but obviously an opportunity for this team to really fine-tune some things that they'll maybe discover over the next game here.
Yeah, honestly, I think in a shortened season, I think it's really good timing for the Flames. You get your 3 games in and get your feet under you, and then you can practice on some stuff. And you got to use that, because you're not going to have that opportunity too many times this year, if at all. Again, a 5-day stretch. So, I think it's a good opportunity for them to. Obviously you can't do too much team bonding right now with COVID, but you get to the rink, you kind of sort things out. You've got a feeling of how things are going, and and then you have the Leafs coming in, who are everybody's raving about their chances in the division, and you get ready for them, and it's a good test, because you kind of see where you are against a team once you're already getting into the flow of games. It's not the first few games of the year anymore.
And then we'll be doing this whole same conversation again about playing former teams, because TJ Brody will be coming back in. Just waiting for Coach Ward, who sounds like he might be coming on his way. But before, or as we wait for head coach Jeff Ward, maybe just ask you a little bit about the Vancouver Canucks, your first impressions in viewing. Obviously, their third game, saw them against Edmonton, and it was kind of a tale of two teams as laid out by some of the Canucks players. Like their game the first night, second night not as much. What is the early kind of takeaway for you?
Yeah, I thought they looked a little tired tonight. It's a tough start to the season. They go on the road and they got to play, 3 and 4 nights away from their home. So, you don't want to have any excuses for them, or, who cares? The Flames won. But, for sure, they got a tough start to the schedule. They're missing one of their best players as well. So, I think, it'll be interesting how they come back on Monday. I know Travis Green is going to make sure that they're one of the hardest working teams in the league, and I'm sure that they'll come back with with a good fight. That's the interesting thing about these back-to-backs that we're going to see all year. Teams responding, the adjustments. You know, the gap. You can separate yourselves in the standings. You know, you can gain 4 points on a team. You know, just in a couple nights. So you know, I think it's you know, for them, they just got to regroup. Wasn't their best night. They obviously ran into a hot goaltender and their ex-teammate, and you know, and saying that for them, special teams is the difference. You know, it's a 0-0 hockey game without the power play goals tonight. So I guess it's not as close as you think, but special teams are a huge part of the game, and we saw a lot of them tonight.
All right, we'll step aside, quick break, and when we return, we'll hear from the head coach of the Calgary Flames, Jeff Ford. Flames Postgame Live brought to you by Ram Truck, winner of the Motor Trend Truck of the Year for the 3rd year in a row. Let's go now to head coach Jeff Ford.
Jeff, after all the talk about what tonight would mean to the former Canucks, can I ask you about 2 of them specifically, what you thought of Jacob Markstrom's performance, and then what you saw out of Chris Tanev in front of him?
Yeah, I thought both guys were played exceptionally well tonight. So, you know, the game's a little bit special for them, but I think the bigger thing that they'll be sort of talking about in our team is that we had a more complete effort than we did the other night in Winnipeg, so it's a stepping stone for us. So I think they're happy with the win, but I think, we're happier as a team that the game was more complete for us.
Besides, just the results, obviously, with pucks getting fished out of the back of the other net, what do you like about the power play at this point?
Well, we're keeping it simple, and we're getting pucks to the net. So that's for early in the season, it's a good start. So, it's something that's you're sort of never happy with it. You never feel like it's 100%. There's always something you're tinkering, or you feel that you can do a little bit better. But for the second game, obviously it was huge for us tonight. We scored some timely goals on it, obviously. But yeah, I think the fact that it's we're a little bit predictable right now to each other, and we're getting pucks to the net are 2 things for us early. But our penalty kill was huge too. I mean the 3-on-5 kill early in the hockey game there could have been a huge momentum shifter to give one up, but it ended up being a good momentum builder for us to get it off, and we had a couple of guys did some yeoman work on that. So I thought the special teams were a big factor in the hockey game tonight.
Go to Eric Francis next.
Coach, I was just going to ask you about that 5-on-3. That's a pretty tense minute 21 or whatever the case is. Can you just talk about the incredible work by both your defensemen on that kill? Yeah, I mean, they did a good job of taking seams away. They did a good job of getting shooting lanes. I thought their sticks were good to clear pucks. And of course, we had a couple of big blocks. So guys did a good job with it. They stayed under control. They stayed within themselves, and I thought they did a great job of reducing space and taking up lanes.
Ryan Pike.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, Ryan.
I know, especially the first 2 periods and the second period in particular, it was probably kind of difficult to sort of get much flow going to the game at even strength with all the penalties. But overall, what did you think of your team's 5-on-5 play?
I thought it was good. I thought everybody contributed tonight. I thought everybody had good games, and so I really felt like we were able to utilize, the depth of our lineup better than we were able to in the first game. And I thought the guys did a really good job 5-on-5 and playing the right way. So, all in all, our 5-on-5 play took a step forward tonight.
Any other questions for Coach? Okay. Thanks very much, Coach. Congrats.
Thank you. See you later, guys.
And we'll We'll send out an email.
There's some thoughts from head coach Jeff Ward, and some interesting things. I should just pick up on what he was talking about. We were just wondering the predictable, comment used. Sometimes you may sound in a negative context, but in that case, early in the season, kind of referring to maybe understanding where everybody is, which is a good thing in game number 2.
Yeah, I think it's, referring to the power plays, I think especially the top line, that they've been together for, a few years almost now. So, I think just obviously you haven't had game action. You've had 2 games to work with, but they're obviously in sync. They know each other they know their roles on it, and they're meshing well. That's big for the Flames. They got 4 power play goals in the first 2 games. That's huge.
Just as we kind of put a wrap on this post-game show here, let's just quickly finish up on Sean Monahan, because he's one of those guys that I think has taken a bit of heat, as we know, through the playoffs, Johnny and Monty, but they're back together again. And before this season, talked about how much excitement they were to be, still together and have the opportunity to bounce back this year. What have you seen from Sean early on? And tonight, pretty good example of his prowess in front of the net, as we've seen so often here.
Yeah, and Monty's, I don't think he's ever changes his game. He's obviously matured and become more of a good player, but he's always around the net. He knows how to score. The hardest thing to do in the league is score goals, and he's got an knack for it. He puts up 20 plus a year, sometimes close to 30. And it was good to see him get rewarded tonight. He was all over the net. I thought he was skating well. In his D zone, he was responsible. He's really become more and more responsible as his career's gone on. So, it's good to watch, being there from the start of his career, and I'm with him for his first 4 years, and then watch him progress to where he is now. It's really, really nice to see, because he's a good kid, and I guess he's not a kid anymore, but he's a leader on the team, and the guys love him. So, I think it's great to see his progression, and all the naysayers, that's just part of being in the NHL. When you don't win, they got to pick on someone, and sometimes I don't think he cares if it's him. So
and he's always handled it well too. Also, still has the best hair probably on the team.
That's very true. I have no comment on that.
Me neither. All right, let's quickly finish up the Remax 50-50, because the draw has closed. 10 o'clock tonight. Every Flames game, home and away, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. This is the unofficial winning pot and the unofficial winning number. So if you're watching Flames postgame live and you have won the 50-50, I believe, again, unofficially, you have to give us, Matt and I, a little cut just because we announced the ticket. Otherwise, congratulations to the ticket. I'm not even going to read that off, but there you go. So the unofficial winning ticket number for the Remax 50-50 for game number 2, and 54 more chances, at least in the regular season, to win. I think that's proper math, 56 minus 2. Didn't get into this for math. All right, that does it for the post-game show. Thanks for doing this. Appreciate it. We'll see you back here on Monday night.
Yeah, good to be back.
Matt Stajan, Brendan Parker, for all of us here at Flames Postgame Live, thanks for watching. A victory for the Calgary Flames in their home opener for the 4th consecutive year, 3rd straight, in fact, over the Vancouver Canucks in their home opener. 3-0 the final. All 3 goals coming on the power play. Sean Monahan, Dylan Dubé, and Matthew Tkachuk, the goal scorers. Jacob Markstrom gets his first shutout as a member of the Calgary Flames. 32 saves in the victory. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here at the Scotiabank Saddledome on Monday night.